and uses his position in order to raise issues of right to health care, community-based policing, so you can deal with some of this police brutality, especially in black and brown communities of proletarian and lumpen proletarian character. And so you look in New York Times last Sunday, volume 2 is number 7. 150,000 copies sold in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. We just got off a 21-city tour. We did a 22-city tour last year. The book, not reviewed at all. Mainstream television won't touch it. What is going on? Is the ice age beginning to melt? Is it the case that the 35 years that Brother Stanley talked about, the ice age, the historical period where it's fashionable to be indifferent to other people's suffering? Indifference is a very trait that makes the very angels weep. To be callous toward catastrophe. And it's true, New Orleans was catastrophic before Katrina hit. Flint, New Orleans without Katrina. We can look at places in Brooklyn, Harlem, south side of Chicago, burials in East Los Angeles, white brothers and sisters in Kentucky, Appalachia, wrestling with catastrophic situations. You see, catastrophic situations, meaning what? Meaning that maybe we're at a moment now where there's going to be multiple strategies going on. It's clear that the Democratic Party remains clueless, visionless, and spineless for the most part. Does that mean you give up on them? No, it doesn't mean you give up on it, but you have to be honest with them. But it does allow one to, in some way, and this is what I think Brother Rick Wolf was talking about in terms of the disaggregation of the right-wing consensus. The unbelievable ways in which now right-wing fellow citizens are at each other's throats. The evangelical right wing can't stand the free marketeers, can't stand the balanced budgeters. That's fine. Let them fight. Let them fight. Let them go at each other. They're weakened in that way. But what kind of alternative do we have? I don't have an answer to that. I don't think that the left has enough resources, has enough people to constitute a strong political organization. Stanley, we can argue over this. We just had drinks for 2 hours, so we've already had some discussion. I think that by raising the issue, it forces us to come to terms with who we really are. That's what I like. That's Socratic. That's provocative. Now, what we do with it, I don't know. I really don't. But and the reason why I say that is because historically, for me, you know, most of the kind of leftist movements tended to actually respond to reformist activity in which the struggle against white supremacy was a major catalyst. And so when I think of all the work that I'm doing right now, especially in Black America, but always, of course, tied to an interesting coalition, leftist identity is not going to be the major means by which you get at people to wake up and come to terms with their social misery and be willing to stand up courageously, articulate vision, and most importantly, have a slice of people who are willing to live and die for a cause, you see, because they have other stories and other narratives that they use to do that. So I would even argue in some way that Martin King and Fannie Lou Hamer were much more important than the Black Panther Party. They were actually building on what Martin and the others built, as much as I love Huey and Bobby Seale. They took it further, but the door was opened by these reformist activities. And what I would love to see is the radical reformism once more become fashionable among young people, and then allow the leftists to come in and do our thing. That's what I'm looking for. I better stop now. Thank you very much.